So today for Up Your Artifact game, talking about accuracy, resistance, that kind of stuff. And then of course there's gonna be a whole bunch of people like, oh, accuracy, resistance, it's a lie, blah blah blah. Okay, let me explain you by a really simple concept just before starting the video, because this video is probably really short. Let me explain you a more understanding concept of accuracy, resistance. It's a probability check, simply. But a probability check is always easiest explained by dice. So you have a dice, can you throw 1 in 6? Of course you can. How are the odds? 1 in 6, 16.6%, blah blah blah. Okay. Then they give you 2 dices. Will it become easier to throw that 6 with one of the 2? Yes, that makes sense, right? That's exactly your accuracy and resistance check. Because we always have a resistance check of 15%. Let's say if you roll a 1 in 6, I resist. So if you roll a 6, I resist. So if you have max accuracy on my 100 resistance, or any resistance actually, because we always have 15% check. If you throw that 6, I resist. But what if you have 70 accuracy, I have 100 resistance, then I give you 2 dices. If one of them goes on the 6, I resist. You have what? You have 55 accuracy, I have 100 resistance, you have 3 dices. 3 dices to throw, one of them is gonna hit a 6 probably. Or maybe not at all. So people are saying like, oh, but like my Okeanos that was like 40 Eki is landing as much as my Okeano that is 100 Eki. That could be, but that's depending on which people you play. Because if your accuracy is 40 and their resistance is 55, it's still a 15% check. If their accuracy or their resistance is 56, it becomes a 16% check, because you have the offset of the 2 of them. So it actually depends which people you're playing. It's like, so if you're playing people all the time that have really low resistance, you can get away with low accuracy. But if you're playing that Mr. Chung with his Validule, you're losing SWC. So that's why I like my resistance. So, and then sure, it's still a 15% check, but preferably I have as high accuracy as possible, because at least you can't blame yourself then for not having better accuracy if you're not landing stuff, because you had the maximum amount of chances. That's what I personally like. So let's actually talk about accuracy in artifacts. And for this, I'm actually going to show a few of my RTA units, what I use on accuracy on that, and why I use it on them and not on other units. For example, Hathor. This is not how I have my Hathor runed up normally. I just put some runes on it that it looks like something. But Hathor is a unit you normally have on accuracy, right? So 57 accuracy. If I'm playing anything that is within my range means plus 15 resistance, then of my accuracy, then nothing is wrong. So 72 resistance, I still have a 15% check always. But then let's say they go way higher. They go another like 28 on top of that. So then you can add in artifacts. Supports, add in artifacts, boom. We got a support artifact here. But what is the issue with the support artifact? Well, you're not gonna go from 50 all the way to 75. But you're like, yeah, but you go from like the 75, 17 plus, you're at 74. So you're missing like just 11. It's not that bad. And maybe you can up the artifact and it's better. Technically, yes. But then we're talking about the main issue and the main core of this video. You do not want to put accuracy artifacts on a unit that have multiple accuracy checks on multiple skills. Well, just have like multiple skills with accuracy checks. Let's call it that way. So the thing is, sure, I can, let's say I get a really good artifact. I boost up the accuracy. I get like a 30 artifact a roll, or I get a 28 artifact. No, wait. Let's say I get a 28 accuracy artifact on slot 3 and you're like, hey, I'm done. 57, 28, we're done. But then, okay, but what if you want to land your S2? It's like, yeah, I have one that's like 7%. Like, wait, so you have like a 60% check, a little bit more on your S2. Sure, your S3 is max, but your S2. And your S1, does it also has a skill with an accuracy check? Yes, it does. Oh, and it's actually pretty shit, right? So, like if you want to land everything, which is important, well, your S1, if you land it more or less, doesn't matter too much, but still. But your S2, it's really important. So you could say like, okay, let's up the accuracy and let's try to find a 2020. Man, the time you're finding a 2020 artifact, man, and by that time, you probably already have like 16 LD in F5s, because that is insanely rare. So the issue with that is you're not gonna get the perfect stats. So then you would ask like, okay, what kind of artifact of accuracy should I use then? Or should I just use something that's lower? And then, well, the answer is actually really simple. Do not use accuracy artifacts on these units that have multiple skills with accuracy checks. That's actually the answer. Because let's say you're just 10 off. Yes, you can find an artifact of 10, 10, 10. But let's say your artifact is like 10, 10, 7. Then you still have to be like, okay, I kind of have to go for the 7. So I have to overboost the or the accuracy for the other two skills by 3, which is then a waste of stats. You're pretty much wasting 3 lines just for that. So in general, that is not that great. So where is accuracy actually really good? Because I'm just saying right now, don't use it. But it is actually insanely good. So then looking at another unit, which makes sense to have the accuracy artifact on, and this is why. This is Vanessa. My Vanessa has 14 accuracy. You could like this 14 accuracy only works for skill 2. Skill 1 doesn't do any accuracy, skill 3 doesn't do any accuracy. So technically it's pretty much a kind of wasted stat if you would go like really high on it. How much accuracy does a Vanessa need? Most of the time you're trying to armor break one of the more, well, damage-ish of units of the enemy, which mostly have lower resistance, and therefore you can get away with lower accuracy, that kind of stuff. So if you have 14, you pretty much have 14 just for your S2. But what if you add an artifact that is just purely accuracy for that one skill? So you could actually pretty much reduce Vanessa's accuracy to 0, get like 24, 25 if you get a really good roll from accuracy artifacts, and you don't have to do any accuracy on Vanessa itself. And there's a bunch more units like that, like Sierra only has accuracy on S2, and there's a few more units like that. Can't really name all of them. Like also some units, they have a decent S1, but the S1 doesn't matter as much as the S2. For example, a Marcia armor break S2 really matters, but getting the slow on the S1 could be nice, could be niche, but it's not the main thing you're going for, so then you can get away with it. Same like Perna S1, you kind of want to have like some accuracy to stun a unit, but skill 2, skill 3 don't use any accuracy. Then you can add those artifacts with the extra accuracy on skill 1. And for the rest, you can leave the unit on pretty much 0 accuracy. Same for Triana as 1, the only accuracy check you need. Same for, and the same actually counts for crit damage as well, because some units, let's say a Triana again, her only crit damage, or the only thing she does for crit damage is skill 1. So actually adding a skill 1 crit damage on that unit is really useful. Whereas if you're gonna add crit damage on, for example, a Barbara, you want crit damage skill 3, you want crit damage skill 2, maybe even crit damage skill 1, then it's super spread out and it doesn't really work, and then you can better go for the single target crit damage. But you also kind of want accuracy on that, and you cannot have like 16 lines on that thing. So that's where you kind of want to add for those units. You want to start looking into like, okay, maybe I can put something else rather than the like really strict, well, Barbara's maybe not a good example because you actually want crit damage S3. But for those units, there's a whole bunch more that you can actually look into. Okay, where can I use accuracy artifacts so that I don't have to put any accuracy in the stats of the unit itself? And that's mainly going to come from units that just have one accuracy check, or that just have one skill with an accuracy check. So that is pretty much it for this video. It's just a short one. I just wanted to bring it out there just because I think it's a nice niche concept of what I do, and then you just have like, okay, I can fix it with that unit, I can fix it with that unit. Tomorrow the video is gonna be a bit more interesting, which is gonna be about the main thing, what makes artifacts good, which is still the additional damage from X, so additional damage from X stat line. I'm gonna talk about that, gonna show like a few I'm gonna show a few examples even of like RTA units. Probably, maybe, I don't know yet. So for this video, just a short one, just to bring it out to you. I think it's a really, in hindsight, this is not that big of a concept, but if you use it correctly, it can save you a lot of rune efficiency that you're pretty much wasting on a stat that only works for one skill. So it really improves like your unit in general. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.